This
place.
place, they can walk around the community.
I don't disagree with you, but if I put a complaint into sanitation, the first thing they're gonna say to me, exactly, give us the location and we'll help
No
there.
problem.
You know, so that's why I'm trying to be specific, because I know what's gonna happen to me.
Place to be parked, or ready to just walk one block to the next. Dogs up catching all over the place. All they have to do is garbage picks up on.
That, I agree with you, sanitation, again, remember, if you remember when the police were talking, sanitation has to witness the people walking their dogs, seeing the dogs, do whatever they do, and they have to actually witness that to give them a ticket. So that's why I wanted to try and get from you at least one location where you feel it should be cleaned up, like street cleaning or if it's garbage removal from the buildings.
Talk to Joe after, because we got to.
All right?
Okay. Just talk to Joe after. Joe will be.
I'll be here. I'll listen to everything you have to say. That was a senior movement.
Yeah,
All right, Kenny Agosto from Senator Jamal Bailey's office.
For them, not for us.
Thanks for all the well wishes. I'm getting better. No more moonwalking on the ice.
For now.
Senator Jamal Bailey is back in town. He just finished co-chairing a 13-hour marathon criminal justice reform hearing. You can catch it on channel 110 on the New York State channel. He grilled some of the district attorneys from upstate, David Soares and a couple others, regarding discovery. BPECA is a signatory to the Discovery for Justice movement. The governor was gracious enough in the State of the State to discuss possibility of changing the criminal procedure law. The senator is going to be meeting with him on Friday because he has a lot of questions on how to strengthen it. I think he wants to eliminate, repeal 240 and put 245. He wants to make it. We had a constituent, Browder, Khalif Browder, and he committed a crime allegedly. He said he didn't do it. He was in Rikers 1 to 3 years. Then he was exonerated, and because of the post-traumatic stress disorder, he ended his life. The governor showcased his brother, Akeem, at the State of the State. I think Assemblyman Sepulveda, Assemblyman Blake, Senator Bailey believe that indictment is the best time to do discovery, not to trial, because this child waited to trial. And I think that there's a lot of pushback from the district attorneys. So there's an omnibus bill and a criminal justice reform bill that's going to cover bail reform, that's going to cover solitary confinement reform. By average, someone who serves in prison is 1/3 serving in solitary confinement. That means the lights are on, no windows, sensory deprivation, all that stuff is happening. But discovery has to come in first. One has to go over the title estuary called the Hudson River. And New Jersey had this law for 35 years. The whole judicial system is based on habeas corpus, produce the body in land, right? So right now, the prosecution has the body, but they don't want to show it to us. It doesn't matter if you have a public defender paying nothing, or you have the best legal dream team. You do not have access in the state of New York to discovery. So we're going to be working on the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus, almost all the different lobby days. We're going to be joining Nelson and Discovery for Justice. We're going to be marching and discussing it. We put it in front that the governor is seeing this, but we have to strengthen. We cannot have a watered down bill. It's not going to work. It was a watered down bill. The Prosecutors State Association wants to limit it. They keep saying witnesses, but New Jersey's had this law. Florida, with their capital, penalty, and Texas has had these laws in place. So New York, where everything happens, I mean, there's also a march to close Rikers. So there's a lot of back and forth because there's a lot of NIMBYism. No, not in my neighborhood. So we had this hearing for 13 hours, and he stayed for like 99% of it, and we're fighting that. So that's like the big priority. We're also doing healthy foods with Montefiore Hospital. They just started their drink campaign of eliminating sugar. So they had these they're having the bodegas involved because right now there's deserts. They're food deserts. And when you go to the bodega, you're trying to look for fruit and vegetable, and they don't have it, and everything is all this stuff. So we're trying to, do that. So we're doing something called Project Oasis to eliminate the food desert. So we're going to be approaching all the different bodegas in the district, trying to entice them to make some space for fresh vegetables, more water, more, healthy. Because even, and then we're going to do a campaign to relabel some stuff because we have stuff that's said to be labeled healthy and it isn't. On February 9th, we're gonna start our 3 Black African American History celebrations. We're gonna have the first one. It's gonna be the 9th. We're gonna have that at PS 103. We're gonna have one on the 22nd in Tracy Towers, and we're gonna have one on the 24th in Co-op City. So I'm gonna I'll send it to Raphael so he can disseminate it. And we're just working hard. The nearest office to here is either 233rd 959 East 233rd Street. I'm there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm also at the Norwood office at the MMCC, and that's 3450 DeKalb Avenue. First and third Wednesdays, I'm there in the morning from 10 to 1. Second and fourth Wednesdays, I'm there from 1 to 3. And we're here for you. So our number over there is 718-547-8854. My mobile number is 917-378-5577. Raphael's awesome. And that's it. Okay, go. Thank you.
No questions?
All right, before you leave, just take a meeting agenda, but just 2 more speakers, then you can go. But we have a lady, someone from the mayor's office who would like to speak.
What?
Sorry.
Oh.
Microphone, please. Microphone. Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. This is my first time, and I hope it's not the last because it's awesome. So I wanted to share with you a couple of resources that our office has.
Your name?
My name is Sarah Miranda. I'm with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs. I wanted to share with you first this super awesome resource guide that we have over here. This have resources that are for anyone. So this is a comprehensive guide of resources that people can find in New York City. And also, I wanted to share with you that we're going to be doing the New York City's IDs at Jacoby. So something about the New York City's IDs is something that we're encouraging for people specifically between the ages of 14 to 21. As a first ID, this is an ID that gives people a lot of benefits, specifically access to museums, to botanical gardens for free for a year, and it doesn't have to be a Wednesday. Please, yes, I know. If you have been to school on a Wednesday, you know what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, I'm going to be in the back. Our office is trying to be very proactive, specifically with the Difference campaign and with everything going on in the immigration field, specifically with everything happening with Dreamers, TPS, which is temporary protected status, and travel ban. If you have or you would like anyone from our office to come to any of your meetings, a community event or something, just let us know. We are pretty reachable. And I'm gonna be around, so if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know. Thank
Phone
you.
number, phone number.
My phone number is, so I have business cards, but just in case, my phone number is 646-618-5021. You
How
can
do you-
text me or email
And
me.
how do you spell your name?
SUREY.
Surey. Oh, Surrey.
Yes.
Ah.
Thank you.
Sorry?
Yes.
Oh, like the,
No. SUREY. Please don't make fun of me.
Just check them.
Thank you, Suri, right, Suri? Okay. All right, Diana, she has our BPECA member extraordinaire, has some updates for us.
See if you have.
Madam Finch.
Just two quick updates, one on the participatory budget process. Next week, we're gonna get the final list of projects, so we can put together the ballot. And the voting is going to be for a whole week in March. And this year, I think anyone who's a resident of Richie Torres Council District, 11 years and up can vote. So kids in middle school, teenagers are all encouraged to vote, and you'll be hearing a lot more from us about that. And one thing that we really want to do for next year is bring participatory budget to Councilman Jonai's district. Because we realized that there are a lot of projects that people came up with ideas for that were for the whole area, but we couldn't propose them because we couldn't do anything in Jonai's council district. So he's a new council member, he should be open to new ideas, and if you live in his district, if you can call his office or write him a note and say that you want participatory budget for next year. And then the other project that we're working on is the grant that we got for an event in Waring Playground, and we've come up with a arts festival day for kids in the playground. It's going to be one weekend in May, and we're going to have a professional artist who will help the kids to design and make a huge banner that we can use for events in the park, and also do artwork that they can take home with them. And in our budget, we're going to make sure to buy enough colored chalk to use in the playground throughout the whole summer. And we're thinking, we noticed that a number of dance groups practice in the park, so we're thinking of having a dance exhibition as well, to have the groups come do Mexican dances, Albanian dances, and a little bit of instruction for kids, but kids of all ages.
Thank you, Dan. Jean O'Larry, want to give any updates from Alton Merchants?
Sure. Hey, everybody, again. Sorry I interrupted before. I'll be stepping down as the director tomorrow. Next week, Tuesday, we'll be having elections. So Larry Moriello, who's there in the back, and Veron Chantley, they will be running for the director's position. I'll still be Gene DeFrancis. I'll still be around. I'll still be attending meetings and keeping everybody an update. I got Manny in trouble with his newlywed wife. So Manny's making fun of me now. We got a lot going on in Allerton, combating some of the illegal storefronts that are going on. Also updating on with DOT. A lot of work that we've been doing recently has been with DOT, getting some new trees. We had a new tree planted on the corner of Radcliffe and Allerton. It's a cherry blossom tree that we dedicated to a World War II veteran. For those of you that don't know, cherry blossoms associated with the Japanese culture, and World War II, we went to war with Japan, not only Germany. And so it was a great come to closure. He passed away in February of 2017, World War II veteran, makes him about 95, I believe, and he's lived in Allerton. His name is William Suriani. He's lived in that house on the corner of Colden and Allerton for over 80 years. He saw the transformation in this. His family was in, I want to say 1924, they moved into that house. So he was a fixture here and always well involved and always knew what was going on and was kind of the centurion of our community. So we got that tree thanks to Parks and DOT. and we dedicated it to him. So if you saw the article that we wrote about him. What else do we have going on? Our anniversary is May 1st, so check your calendars. The Allerton homeowners anniversary is March 10th. I will be there. And that's pretty much it, but more so if there's any questions for the Merchants Association. Yeah, Mark?
No, I just want to say, I'm sorry to hear that you're stepping down as director. You did a great job.
Thank you.
For several, at least, I guess 5 years.
Yeah, we're going to be 5 years old in March. And we're a 501c3 incorporated. We're doing heavy on the fundraising. Don't forget, speaking of which, don't forget the PS 89 cheer squad. They're halfway to their goal. If everybody can just step up and get out and help them raise $3 per person. They should have had this months ago completed. So let's step it up. From what I'm hearing, everybody's looking at the other person, waiting to donate $2, $3. Let's knock that off and get these kids to Orlando so they can represent us and compete. One thing, speaking of participatory budgeting, we want to encourage you guys, since you're more attuned to the budgeting than we are. Every other day we hear about another incident at Columbus High School. There are no cameras outside of Columbus High School, so we need to maybe get some funding to have the outside perimeter, get some cameras and protect our kids, because that'll help the police department a lot. So maybe we can put that on the agenda, and that's in Richie's.
But that's not Richie, that's Mark.
That's what I just said.
Can you speak to DOE about the cameras?
I don't think they'll be that helpful with that, because they'll be asking for where the money comes from. So we need to get that doesn't zigzag, doesn't Mark's. All right, so let's call Mark Jonai and make sure that they got the money. Participatory budgeting is great as far as, but these guys have the money to dole out as needed. So you don't need to worry about participatory budgeting so much as call them up, demand it, say, listen, there's no reason, because one case after the other, it becomes epidemic and it's ridiculous at this point. So call them and make sure he has the money, they have the money. Don't ever, when the city tells you they don't have money, they don't like the project, because the money's there and they'll find it. They just think about all the things that they want to spend the money on. They could get a couple of dollars for the cameras. And we're also working on cameras up and down the Allerton corridor. We have a great quote from NITEC, which is Felix Betancourt, who's been a local businessman in this community for about 20, 30 years himself. So we're going to get cameras in the storefronts on several of our areas, and we're going to clean up in 2018 those alleyways that we've promised for a couple of years now. It's been tough to navigate, but we're going to repave them and clean them up and really make them look nicer, and maybe install some gates. It's been, so if you don't know the dynamics of this, the alleyways are private property. If you slice it down the middle, the person to the left and the right owns that portion. It's not city property. So getting all the homeowners and the business owners coordinated together, that's what's taking a lot of time. Plus the fact that we have full plates with other projects, sometimes things get put on the side.
Okay, well, we get these cameras, who's monitoring these cameras?
It's negotiable, but it could be DOE. Whenever a camera is installed, it's either the police department or the owner of the property, and they'll, in coordination with the department, if they need it, will supply the cameras. So it's city property. I would imagine the Columbus High School security would have access to it, or it could be a police camera itself.
Right, because if we want to investigate a crime, who do we go to? We will have to go to the police department or the city.
If you want to investigate a crime, you would have to report the crime, and then the police department who would be handling the crime would then have the information. So I don't know if you noticed on Boston Road in Allerton, there's a giant camera at the corner there. That's a police camera. Whereas opposed to many of the storefronts have those small bulbs, or as you see in here, the cameras in here. If something was to happen in here, George and Miguel would present the footage.
Because on the one on Allerton, it says, it identifies as a police, it says NYPD on it. But you have some of them that don't have nothing on it.
Right. Yeah, Mark.
I'm a little confused. if security is funded through DOE funds and security
No.
can't be pressured to get the funding from DOE.
You could try that avenue. I think it would be a lot easier to tell Mark, hey, we need cameras at our school
Yeah.
perimeter. I think that would be the easiest. I'm trying to help you get it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is if you're to set up a meeting with the school safety officer.
I think it would be a lot faster if you got the money with Mark.
Who pushed for the participatory budget, and
That's the backup.
that's recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the participatory budget, there's $1 million in the budget that has to be spent the way the people voted
Right.
for it.
And then you gotta get the votes for it.
Yeah,
So cover
and
your,
listen, don't interrupt. In the last 2 cycles in Ritchie Tourist District, security cameras have been on the ballot, and they've been voted in, people want them. And the way it works for these security cameras is that the NYPD votes for a certain number of cameras, and then the NYPD decides where to place them based on where they need them and where stuff is happening.
so speaking hypothetically now, because this is in Mark's district, and I don't know if Mark's, has he said he was gonna do participatory budgeting, Ralph? Mark?
It's still early.
Yeah, so hypothetically speaking, maybe he gets on participatory budgeting bandwagon. Call Mark, get the money. Yes, Sylvia.
Quick question. You just answered that question, but I was wondering, I know you said that you do Richie Torres participatory budgeting, and I was wondering how would that work for Columbus, but I know that's not his area. But like you said, call Jonah's office and say, okay.
You know he moved his office too now, right? He's on Westchester Square?
Yeah.
That's not right? No. He moved out of back his office, he's in Westchester Square proper.
Oh, okay. One other question. Would, since my son goes to, well, they say Columbus, but there's 3 different schools. He's been in there for a while and I haven't. Well, the other day they sent a letter home saying that outside the perimeter of Columbus, they did something they did and they found like weapons in the area. But when there's 3 different schools, I haven't had any like issues or fights or anything like that. But would petitions work from the school?
For the cameras?
Yeah, like I always go to the leadership.
Everything works. If everybody
Did I bring
does
that up?
something, what I think is the fastest way is if call Mark
We all call.
and say, let's get the money. But I think Mark will be on board for that.
What's the number for this?
knowing
I'll
Mark.
get the number.
I'll have to get the new number.
Okay.
Is it? Because it's a different office now.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it out.
9/1/17/21.
Okay, hit good.
It's on the agenda.
Good, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In reference to the trees, who's responsible for that? We get the
Parks.
funding for, that's parks. What about the trash cans, for the large?
DOT. DOT and DSNY, but it's DOT because it's on DOT property. So we've been working, when we originally formed the Merchants Association, what we wanted to do was get larger bins with the smaller holes on top. And they cost a lot of money. They wanted to charge us about $2,500 per bin. So we talked, we hemmed and hawed, and we got a couple of them on the White Plains Road corner. A little bit misused. What we really need and what we're really working on is the ready, willing, and able guys, but more local. Not so much those guys because money's been allegedly mishandled and not used properly, so that kind of got trashed.
They were good, they were good.
I was gonna say, we do have a gentleman going up and down Allerton cleaning, but we need a localized maintenance crew that can handle the graffiti when it's up. We're a 501, we can handle the money and we can outsource the jobs and hire local guys that we know need a couple of dollars, and they're more than willing. We talked to a few guys about going. There's no, and it's true because Ralph spends a lot of time. I've spent a lot of time cleaning. There's no reason why Ralph shouldn't get paid for doing it. Whatever you think, he's a community activist. He should be volunteering. No, that's nonsense. This man puts a lot of time and effort into the community, and if he made a couple of dollars doing it, there's no problem with him at all. So that's what we need. We need.
I'm gonna go around with my tip jar.
And just make sure that the vest is glow in the dark, so you see it. But in all seriousness, that's whatever. You get neighborhoods competing with each other for resources like that, and then jealousy kicks in. Why does Allerton have it? But we don't care about that kind of nonsense. We say we want, and we fight for it. Just getting the things paved. We got White Plains Road to Bronx Park East, and then Colden Avenue to, I think it was Wilson Avenue, repaved the streets because we couldn't get in between paved, and we were upset about that, but we understood because of the construction that's going on. We knew we knew, we had an idea that Holland Avenue was gonna get dug up. And so to repave it with a new, so we hemmed and hawed back and forth about, we wanted one solid community because we know when we recognize the community is divided up into 3 sections. You got from Williamsbridge east, Williamsbridge to Boston Road, and then Boston Road to, well, actually probably 4, White Plains Road and then White Plains Road to BPECA, their own little entities, and we wanted one Allerton, because Allerton technically is everything north of Pelham Parkway within the community board 11.
Yes.
And then you have subdivisions, you have Pelham Gardens, Bronx Park East, those are sub-neighborhoods within the Allerton community. And vice versa, Morris Park is community board 11 on the south side of Pelham Parkway, with Pelham Parkway being the back. There's no such thing as border names. The developers create the names depending on, or the realtors, depending on what they can sell their property at. So if at any given time they feel like changing the name of the community, they'll do it, because they feel like they can sell it. They get together and have their conversations.
I just wanna let you know, if anybody wants Mark's number, I have it.
It's on your list. It's on your list.
It's on
Grace, did you have a question?
agenda.
It's on the agenda.
You had a question?
No.
All right, thanks everybody for your time.
Everyone got the meeting agenda, right? There's a nice little calendar there that I made this afternoon. I wanted to highlight one event. Anyone here ever heard of Hydropunk? So Hydropunk, they never heard of it. It's a collective. It's a group of young artists, anywhere between the ages of 16 up until early 30s, that age group, and they do events. They do garage rock shows all the way, but now they're doing a really big event this Saturday. Take the 2 train to Jackson Avenue. It's their 2nd annual Bronx Art Expo, and they're going to have a lot of art on display. It is a $10 donation at the door. Any kids age 14 and under is free. It goes on from 4 o'clock all the way till midnight, perhaps beyond. 516 Timpson Place. More information, Hydropunk on Instagram or on Facebook. But it's a really cool thing to support. If you can go out, and you'll have a good time. You'll meet people. It's pretty cool. They're going to be doing some tattooing. Of course, you got to pay for that. But and they'll have some other booths set up. A couple other things on the calendar. Van Ness meeting, Allenton meeting, clergy council. If Grace wants to speak about that, about the dinner.
Oh.
No. Yes. 3, 2.
1.
Okay, have my bags back acting up. The clergy, 49th Precinct Clergy Council is having its second annual holiday dinner on February 8th. Tickets are $40. It is a fundraiser because we have a scholarship fund that we're trying to build up. So if anyone can make it, let me know. Give me a call. My number is 347-664-6445. I need to know right away so I can make sure there are tickets. We have enough tickets available. It's going to be at the Sands at 6:30. It's a Thursday from 6:30 to 10. We'll probably be done by 9:30ish because people need to get home and get ready for work the next day. But it should be a fun time. There'll be some awards given out to certain community members, and also the community organizations are going to be recognized with certificates as well. So if you want to come and show support for whatever community organization you are involved with, please come out. The more the merrier. Thank you.
As Steve Glasser said, Pelham Parkway Neighborhood Association, put you on the count. You made the list. I had to put that in. Wrestling reference now, and I'll let you get it. Well, PPNA is having their meeting Tuesday, February 13th. They're going to have a presentation on fire safety. Are you going to
Safety education.
Are you going to have smoke alarms?
They don't give them out anymore.
They don't give them out anymore.
No?
That's not good.
Not this unit.
Not this unit.
Fire safety education. We urge everyone to come. Fire safety education meeting. Bronx House, February 13th, 7 p.m. You're all welcome.
What about someone wants to donate something to that? If someone wanted to donate alarms to give out at the moment,
You can do that, but at these events, there's a big turnout, so it has to make.
First come, first served.
Oh, well, there you go.
Bring 30 alarms at least.
At least, yeah.
You reminded me of something. We're actually gonna host a wrestling event, hopefully before April.
Ooh, Raphael just perked up, look.
Wrestling, like actual wrestling?
Sports entertainment.
I'm not in shape, alright, so.
There will be a ring though.
Alright.
We got a challenger right there.
Someone challenging me? Okay.
I'll bury you guys. So we'll keep you posted when the tickets are available, and if anybody knows any sponsors that want to get involved.
I'll call up Y2J. I'm close with me. Saturday, if anyone's really misses the beach, I really miss summer. So if you really have that urge to just go to Orchard Beach and go in the water, well, Saturday, February 17th, your dreams are coming true because the Bronx Polar Bears. We have a polar bear.
Me too.
Their annual it's for a good cause. It's not just for freezing your butt off and your legs. I went, my legs felt like trees. I felt like I was walking on trees. It was crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna go. Bronx Polar Bear dip against homelessness.
Wow.
If you bring gloves, socks, hats, or scarves. They're going to be donated to Bronx Works Homeless Service Program. I don't know if you know, but Bronx Works does pretty much all the homeless outreach that I know of. Like when you, a lot of times we have people sleeping in the park, or we have people in the neighborhood that just, we know they're homeless, and so you can call them. I have their email address or phone number.
Is that on the?
And they go out, they do outreach, they get them temporary housing. Beyond that, I'm not sure what they do, but they do a lot of work for homelessness. So Saturday, February 17th, 10:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. You do not want to stay there more than like half hour. It's really cold.
That's not wuss.
Yeah, you gotta pay to go in the water.
No.
You pay to freeze your butt off. No, it's free. It's free.
No.
They should pay you. Yeah, Grace has done it a lot more. No, it's free.
Hey.
And Ms. Cofield.
Now,
Yeah, I'll just go this way. Yeah.
we're talking about to go to Orchard Beach. Is it free to get in because you?
Yeah, it's free. You don't have to pay.
Yeah, there's
you don't
no
have to
charge
pay
to get
for
into
it.
Orchard.
Instead of taking the 12 bus all the way like in the summer, you gotta take the 12
To the 29.
all the way to the 29.
And then walk.
And then walk a little bit.
They may have like a van or like a trolley. I think I went in like one of those vans.
They usually provide a meetup place right there at Pelham Bay, at the 6 train, the last stop. They'll provide a little van to take people to Orchard if you're going to be in there.
Yeah.
So even if you're not gonna dip, you should come out and support people who are, like myself.
Yeah.
And Raphael, we gotta do it together this year. And bring, it's for a good cause, hats, gloves, scarves, things like that, socks, something warm.
No, it's 17. It's on, baby, it's on.
I don't think I have enough insulation to be a polar bear.
I'll give you some of mine.
All right, then Community Board 11 meetings on there, 49 Precinct Council at Bronx House. Anyone else, I know it's been we've been in here an hour and 40 minutes, I know, it's a long meeting. But I appreciate you coming, our board members appreciate you coming in the cold. Just, you know how to stay in touch, text me, you text Kenny, Facebook, Instagram. And with the police officers that came, when something's happening that's not an emergency, no one's in danger, but it's suspicious, send them a text, send them an email. Know what sector Linda, what sector are you in? Correct. Sylvia, what sector are you in?
I have no idea.
C. You're in
Yes,
C. Grace, what sector are you in?
C
Sal.
and B.
Oh, you're not Sal. You're sector B. John, you're sector C. B. Sector B. C. Where you live? Oh, Boston Road. That's sector C. So just know your sector.
How would you know that? How would you know your sector?
Well, if you had been here on time, you would have. But I'll tell you later. We had. Hold that for me. Now, just to be clear, when it comes to the sectors, for example, Raphael and myself, there are a lot of us it will overlap B and C. So just because you live in sector C, doesn't mean you can't call the NCOs from sector B if you see something in that sector. So don't confine yourselves because you're only in one sector. There's overlapping. If you're in sector A, which I don't know anybody who is, Van Ness, Morris Park, if you're in sector A. So it really would be helpful if you had everybody's phone number, and I have, not with me, I have a sheet with everybody's, all the NCOs for all the sectors, their phone numbers and their email addresses. I'll get it to Raphael so we can make copies. So this way you have everybody's number and the sergeant as well.
All right, so thank you for coming. Next meeting, Wednesday, February 28th, right here at Gasolina. Feel free to support the bar. And thank you to George and Miguel for hosting us every month. All right.
I missed your number.